So, if you have been struggling to be a happy mom, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be going through 5 things you can do to be a happy mom, even when life isn't the way you quite want it to be. And everything I'm sharing with you are things that I have had to learn in my own journey in motherhood. I currently have an 8-year-old girl, just for context. I know that everyone's parenting journey is different. You might have more than one child, you may have multiples, different genders, boy or girl, whatever the case may be. But these are principles, these are things that you can put into practice in the way that best suits you. And so, before I get started, a little bit about me. I am the host of this podcast, Diligent Daughters Academy. You can either be watching this on YouTube or podcast on Apple or Spotify. And I currently coach Christian moms who are overwhelmed, stressed out, just life is chaos for them. And it seems like they just can't find the joy in motherhood that they longed for. And whatever your current circumstance is, I want you to know that there's hope. There is a way for you to actually enjoy this season of life, whether your child is a baby or even a teenager. And I don't have any teenagers right now, but I once was a teenager. And I can already tell you that I remember whenever my mom you know, would be in a mood. Let me just put it that way. I don't want to, air out any dirty laundry of hers. But you know that saying like, oh, well, if mom's in a bad mood, like don't ask her to go anywhere. And I want to say that that has been the cultural norm, but as Christians, as Christian moms, we should not strive, we should aim towards being a joyful presence for our family. And you may think like, but I have so much to do. Guess what? I know. And you're probably thinking, you only have one child. I know, but we have the life that we currently have. There are certain things you cannot change. What is more productive is for you to face the reality of your current life season and to be thankful for all that God has given you. And it is unproductive to be constantly complaining and comparing and, you know, wishing you were in a different situation. And that used to be me. I used to always long for the season that I would be married. I got married last year. I would always long for the season where my daughter wasn't a certain age. And I had to stop myself at some point and say, if I can't enjoy her at this age, when am I ever going to enjoy being her mom? And so you have to be able to have those real, honest, raw conversations with yourself and with the Lord, with God in prayer or journal about it. And this is the whole point of this video is these are 5 things, principles that you can do to be a happy mom, even when life isn't the way you quite want it to be. For the longtime listeners of the podcast, this is a different format. I'm currently recording this for a YouTube video and uploading the audio. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. The link will be in the description. Also, on the flip side, if you want to listen to this, while you're in the car, you can do that as well. So let's start with the first thing, and it is going to be read Philippians. This has been told to me a while ago that Philippians is one of the happiest books in the Bible. And what do I mean by that? What were they probably meaning by that when they told me that? I don't remember who it was, honestly. But Paul was an apostle in the Bible, the New Testament. Obviously, he had a radical conversion. He was a Jewish leader who was persecuting the Christians, the people who followed Jesus, followed the teachings of Jesus, all that stuff. And he was imprisoned for quite a time. I believe it was I can't remember, but I want to say maybe by the Romans. Please correct me in the comments if I get any of that wrong. But he was in prison. He was in chains for preaching the good news of Jesus Christ. And the verse I want to highlight when it comes to Philippians is not Philippians 4:13, which you hear all the time. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Hold on. I had to grab something. It is not that verse. I want to highlight Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. And it says this: Not that I speak from need, for I have learned to be content in whatever the circumstance is. I have learned to be content in whatever circumstance I am in. And so we don't hear that a lot. We hear a lot about like, live your best life. If something doesn't serve you, then just quit. And there is some truth to that. I'm not going to dive into that, but if you cannot be happy or thankful or joyful where you're at right now, even if it's messy, even if it's chaotic, even if it's not the way you want it to be, you won't appreciate when you finally reach the place where you do want to be. I need to take care of something real quick. So, with that being said, you need to make sure that you are getting in God's word. And if finding joy in motherhood is something that you really struggle with, I highly recommend, read a few verses at a time during your quiet time from the book of Philippians. Um, if a chapter feels like too long, break it up into chunks. I teach that to my clients all the time is, when you want to start doing a good habit, don't try to like run a mile all at once. No, start by running for like 1 minute if you've never ran. That's just an example, by the way. So let's move on to the second thing, and that is to pray when you're doing a task for the home. And I really don't know where I actually do know. Like the Holy Spirit gave me these like things and broke them down into practical steps for you. Because for me, prayer is just a continual conversation with God. I'm still honoring God. I'm still being respectful when I pray for him, like standing up in the car, all these things. Some people think you need to only be kneeling down when you pray. I do not believe that. You can be praying wherever. And you need to be praying while you're doing tasks for your home because that's going to increase your joy by recognizing who God is in your life. If you claim to be a Christian, but you are not really spending time talking to God, which is, I don't want to say a benefit, but it is a blessing that God has given us through Jesus Christ. We have the Holy Spirit. We can talk to God anytime. Like, that is a way for you to connect with Him while you're doing the dishes, while you're making dinner. And here's a little pro tip. If you have no idea what to cook for dinner, start by God, can you please show me what I can cook for dinner? Can you please help me, come up with like a quick recipe or help me find a quick recipe or just like be able to whatever produce is about to go bad and like make it taste good. I've done that before. And some people think like, well, you're not giving reverence to God. No, like I'm asking God to help me provide a delicious and nutritious meal for my family. That is I can ask anyone. I could ask Google, but I'd rather ask God. And as you cook, you learn different skills and things like that. But anyways, but pray when you're, doing the laundry. Pray when you're resetting your room for the day. Pray when you are vacuuming and just start connecting to God through those tasks. Obviously, if you have um gonna touch on this just for a quick minute. Like start teaching your kids, how to care for their home. Like I saw this tip the other day and it was like I would give my toddlers like a baby wipe to wipe down, their spot at the table or their little like, I don't know, eating table, whatever the case may be. That is just such a genius way to start teaching your children stewardship, your family, like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. So, prayer, powerful. Pray over your home. I have a peace-filled home prayer PDF. So many P's, but I have that in my stand store. You can go check it out. And it's a prayer that you can print out and pray over your home. Like that is something that will bless you immensely, bless your family immensely, and you will see the shift over the weeks. And that's one thing I want to touch on really quick as well. Be patient in this journey of becoming a happy mom. It took me years, not in a way where it was like grueling, but like I've learned over the years on how to enjoy the season of, life that I'm in as a mom. Currently, I have one. We wish to have more, but you have to practice it. It is something that you have to choose. So many people think that they'll find it in a certain like uh, developmental milestone or certain like grade level or whatever, but you need to joy at whatever stage, whether they're newborns, toddlers, early childhood, middle childhood, whatever the case may be. So let's move on to the third one. Be grateful for the most mundane things. It kind of ties into the second one, but being grateful for the most mundane things looks like, God, thank you so much that I have clean water to take a shower with. God, thank you so much that I have eggs to make my breakfast with. God, thank you that the Walmart is only 5 minutes down the street from our home, so it's easy for me to go get groceries. God, thank you for Walmart grocery order pickup. Oh my goodness. If you're not doing the free, I live in Texas, so we have HEB here. HEB is a great place. They do free grocery pickup. Walmart does free grocery pickup. Mom hack right there. Um, but if you're not grateful for the most mundane things, you kind of start to not be grateful for like the quote unquote bigger things. And I kind of always thought that I would be the person that would not lose it, but just I've over the past, few weeks, I've kind of noticed I haven't been doing this as much and I've been feeling it. Like, and I don't like that. And so I want to tell you, like, be grateful for even just the smallest milestones that you make, even the smallest amount of progress that you make. In Diligent Daughters Academy, I have beautiful ladies in there, beautiful moms who are just, wanting to become consistent, disciplined, in their motherhood, to become confident, enjoy motherhood like we're talking about right now. And one thing that's coming up is like, I don't want to keep hitting snooze. I want to be able to wake up on time so I have a peaceful morning. I'm able to get my quiet time in. And we and I celebrate their wins in there of them, getting up on time, not hitting snooze more than 5 times. And I celebrate whatever the small progress that they've made. And I put air quotes for small, by the way, um, because it all adds up. And I don't want you to lose sight of that. Every single time that you are making a better decision for yourself, you're voting for your future self. You are getting closer to the type of woman that this is your lifestyle, joyful, consistent, disciplined, takes care of herself, takes care of her home, all that good stuff. So let's move on to the fourth one. Go outside. You know, I feel like that one's so simple. Like I don't have to say anything else, but go outside. If it's, even I remember some days after work, I would get home from work when I used to be a single mom. Just BTW, that's my backstory. I would come home from work, pick her up from daycare, and we would go for a little walk just to kind of like relax from just the craziness of the day. And I was able to get some walks in earlier in the morning during the school year. Now it's summertime, things have kind of shifted. But, going outside, just even if it's by yourself or if it's with your children, your family, it's so great just to be outside, feel the sun hit your face, the fresh air. It's a great way to just reset and just chill out from the craziness in the day to day. And there's so many health benefits to it. I'm not going to go into that. You can look them up yourself. But going outside is just an easy, quick, free way to, again, reset. And you never know. Like when I come back from being outside, whether it's a walk, I went on a run this morning. I was tired, but it was good. Like you just start to think clearer about things when you come back in. I don't know what it is. It's just the way the Lord created nature. Like I love it. So try that. Even if it's like before like the bedtime routine, you've eaten dinner and then it's like before bed, let's all just take a quick walk around our street. That will do you so good. All right. Number 5, delete social media for a time. I deleted my Instagram, I want to say about a year ago, and I have had no desire to be back on that app. There has been times where I'm like, wait, I want to look this person up or this thing up, and I'm like, whatever. And I don't. I find it a different way, and I'm on the brink of getting close to really deleting my Facebook, honestly. I'm kind of like I'm over it. Every single time I get on there, I don't feel the same way I did when I got off Instagram, but like it's just kind of like what is the point? And if I really need to reach out to someone or like see how they're doing, I have their phone number. I could just call them. I could just send them a voicemail, a voice text. I send voicemail still. You can judge me, but um or a text message or better yet, get their address, send them a letter. Do that. If you haven't done that in a while, it's actually pretty fun. My daughter started pen paling her cousin a while ago, and it's actually really cute. But deleting social media for a time will help you to just shut out the noise, shut out all the comparison. And I heard this guy on a podcast earlier this week say, um, that he has a 15-minute limit. He's like, after 15 minutes of being on social media, I start to like not like my life. I was like, oh wow, that's actually I think that's me too. And I was posting on TikTok for a time, sharing things on there for about the podcast and um about what else? Sorry, I got a call about the podcast about my group coaching program, but for me it's just I still feel that temptation to scroll. Like the guy who even created the infinite scroll like regrets it. And so I don't think social media is evil. I think it is very helpful. I think there are so many great people on there, tools, just amazing things. But if it's at the cost of you, being frazzled and anxious and just wanting to completely change your life all the time and just worried that you didn't do this because you saw this influencer do that and you're not going to reach this goal, whatever story you tell yourself, then take a break, even if it's for a week, even if it's for a day. Take a day off and see how you feel. I just know I feel so much better. I have so much more mental clarity to focus on the things that I actually really want to care about, to live my life when I take a break. And so I'm not saying you need to completely delete social media forever. What I am saying is that if you probably need to take a break, if you keep finding yourself in this comparison trap, this like overwhelm trap, and just watch how much mental energy you get back. And it's also good for your sleep to like not be on your phone. So, I want to add to that. Like, if you're going to delete social media for a time, make sure that you're also adding something into that. I became a reader whenever I got off of Instagram, and I still read. I'm not like a voracious reader. I'm not like super into books, but slowly but surely I've been going through a book series and I love it. So just want to say that. But that is the end of this episode. I want to let you know that if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, you can check out that in my Stand store. Also, you can join Diligent Daughters Academy. The doors close July 10th. So if you're watching after July 10th, you can get on the wait list for the next session. Right now, this is the first ever session, so it is at the lowest price it will ever be. We have some beautiful moms, ladies in there, and we're all having a great time, getting motivated, staying encouraged, staying accountable, becoming consistent, all the good beautiful things that the Lord wants us to grow in as we steward our home, our health, our life. So, thanks so much for taking the time to watch/listen, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.